welcome back to the most festive, most magical, most delightful day of the year, the Stony Brook Media Group's Holiday Spectacular. I'm Katherine Procacci.
And I'm Skyler Day Harman. We're fresh off Thanksgiving break, and we want to take a moment to tell you how grateful we are for you watching and supporting us throughout this broadcast.
It's the end of the semester, and while it is a stressful time, it is also a joyous time of year. And now that Thanksgiving has passed, it is officially the holiday season, and there can no longer be a debate over when holiday lights can go up. I think we can all agree that in order for the lights of Hanukkah and the lights of Kwanzaa to be seen in their full glory, it has to be dark, which is timely with the shortest day of the year coming up. The Winter Solstice is the darkest day of the year, and is a point of inspiration for many cultures and the meanings that they assign to the darkness. Our own anchor for the day, Skyler Day, has more. Sky?
Thank you, Kat. This year, the Winter Solstice will take place on Wednesday, December 21st. While all days are 24 hours, the amount of northern hemispheric daylight on the Winter Solstice is the shortest. This is due to the Earth reaching its maximum tilt away from the sun and the sun being at the lowest angle in the sky when viewed from Earth's surface. While the actual solstice only lasts for a few moments, the full day is celebrated. Depending on where you are, it can be regarded as the beginning of winter, midwinter, or even the extreme of winter. The winter solstice is an important part of many cultures and is marked by a myriad of rituals and festivities. Many traditions stem from this day. Various archaeological sites such as Stonehenge seem deliberately oriented with the position of the sun during the winter solstice. Indigenous communities across the world have celebrated the winter solstice for thousands of years. In Northern Europe, this day is the beginning of Yule, which traditionally celebrates the return of the sun and has more recently become synonymous in some parts with the Christmas season. In Iranian culture, the winter solstice is celebrated as Yalta night, which means birth. It is a time to gather to feast and celebrate on the longest night of the year. In Guatemala, the Santo Tomas Festival brings a week of brightly colored masks and festive music in what is considered a combination of Catholicism and Mayan traditions. Ultimately, the winter months are a wonderful time to gather and celebrate with your loved ones to help light up the longest nights of the year. But how will we be brightening Long Island? Melanie Formosa has all the information on Smithtown's contribution to the holiday spirit. Melanie?
Thanks so much, Skyler. There isn't much darkness here at the Smithtown Historical Society when the lanterns are lit. I'm here with Executive Director Priya Kapoor. Thanks so much, Priya, for joining me.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and I really appreciate all that you've done so far.
Tell me a little bit more about this Winter Lantern Festival, the first of its kind in Suffolk County.
Yeah, this is the first time we're hosting it. It's going to be on our property, which is 22-acre farm. Most of the people don't even know that we exist over here. So this is a very different way of ours to show the community that we are here and they should be coming all year around here. But this time of the year, we're hosting lanterns.
And the lanterns are handmade.
Yes, they are handmade. They are imported from China, I believe. And the people who have installed it, they've done a wonderful job. They're very attractive and colorful and enjoyable. Kids love it.
How long did the display take to set up?
About 3 weeks. It took them 3 weeks to set up on our property. I'm not sure how much time did it take for them to make it, but they were already made when they arrived on our property.
And how did the Smithtown Historical Society get chosen as a host location for this event?
I contacted them through social media, and after repeated emails exchanges, we were able to get them on the property. They enjoyed the property. They liked it. They've done this before, I believe, in Staten Island and Queens, and they thought that this would be perfect, and we collaborated. So far, it's going good.
And what do you want all of the people who attend to get out of the experience?
It's a new way of bringing the community together. A lot of people who are coming on the grounds have been saying that they love it, and they never knew that historical society existed in their backyard. So this is our way of showing everybody that we have a lot to offer.
The display will be here until January 8th. Thanks so much, Priya. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Melanie. This year, Hanukkah begins on December 18th and goes through December 26th. If you feel like it's later in the month this year, you would be correct. Due to 2022 being a Hebrew leap year, Hanukkah will be celebrated later in December. Our reporter Marcus Dia is at the UNITI Cultural Center in the Union with more information. Marcus?
We're here at the UNITI Cultural Center celebrating Hanukkah here on campus. Daniella Rodriguez has the
The Stony Brook Hillel is welcoming all Jewish students to celebrate the upcoming holiday.
We are celebrating by having Festival of Lights with the rest of the Interfaith Center on Wednesday, and so we're going to come together and have an early Hanukkah. We'll have latkes and sufganiyot to celebrate Hanukkah together.
Nicholas Kidman is a first-year Stony Brook student, and he's excited to celebrate at Hillel.
I'm a freshman, so this is a new community, but definitely like getting to know people around me in the Jewish club, and of course the gold coins.
So for us, Hanukkah feels a little bit whimsical, a little bit more winter wonderland, and obviously there's a story behind it that is a story of perseverance and a story of miracles. And so for us, it feels like a really fun, lighthearted way to celebrate the oncoming winter season while also celebrating our heritage together.
This past year, there has been an uptick in anti-Semitism across the nation, even among famous individuals. Despite this, the Stony Brook Hillel finds the positive in the recent attacks against their community.
Stuff like this allows us to get together, to group together, and to protect each other and defend each other from these types of threats, and also fight back against them, making people outside of our community more aware of what's going on, of the truth behind these statements.
I think anti-Semitism always is like a dual-edged sword. On one hand, obviously it's really troubling, it's really upsetting, and for a lot of students in particular, it can be really triggering for them. I think especially during the holiday season, when we're trying to, bring together students, when we're trying to have light in our lives, it presents a unique opportunity to kind of come together and celebrate holidays.
Reporting for the Stony Brook Media Group, I'm Daniella Rodriguez.
I'm Anthony Johnson, back here live at the UNITI Cultural Center at the Stony Brook Union to talk about the holiday of Kwanzaa. This holiday is celebrated annually from December 26th to January 1st. It was created in 1966 by academic Melanie Karenga with the goal of honoring African heritage and tradition. Kwanzaa comes from the term for first fruits in the language of Swahili. While it is primarily celebrated by African Americans, Kwanzaa is celebrated in other parts of the world, such as Canada and Caribbean. Kwanzaa takes place over 7 days, and each of the 7 days emphasizes 7 different core traits. Those traits include unity, self-determination, cooperative work and responsibility, collective economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. On the 7th and final day of Kwanzaa, people use this day to reflect on these traits. In addition to those distinct things on those 7 days, there are also 7 symbols of Kwanzaa. These include a candle holder, the candle, a mat for the candle, crops, an ear of corn, a unity cup, and gifts. The candle that is lit on Kwanzaa, the candles that are lit on Kwanzaa also have distinct meanings, as each color represents something different. The candle in the center that is black represents people, while the candle that is red signifies the struggle for liberation, while the green candle symbolizes hope for the future. During the celebrations, people celebrate in many ways, including feasts with food, dancing, singing, poetry, and music in general. In addition, Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, meaning that anyone all over the world can celebrate this yearly tradition. Reporting live from the UNITI Cultural Center, I'm Anthony Johnson. And stay tuned for more of the Stony Brook Media Group's Holiday Spectacular after the break.
back to the Holiday Spectacular. We're so excited to be here. There's a quintessential part of every December New York City trip, visiting the tree at the Rockefeller Center. Reporter Sydney Riddle got the chance to rock around the most famous Christmas tree for its lighting. Sydney?
Hi, Seawolves. We are here kicking off the holiday season in the heart of New York City at the 90th annual Rockefeller Tree Lighting. This year's tree is an 82-foot tall Norway spruce that hailed from Queensboro, New York. This year's tree is decorated with 50,000 lights on a 5-mile-long wire. It has a 900-pound crystal star at the top, and that crystal star costs about $1.5 million.
Thousands of people return each year to celebrate this tradition. The tree lighting originally began in 1931 when Rockefeller Center workers pooled their money together to buy the first tree. And since then, this tradition has continued every year since. And while it may have been raining this year, that didn't stop the spectators from coming all over to celebrate the welcoming of the holiday season.
Is this your first time at the tree lighting?
Not mine, but my wife's.
It's mine.
She's from England, first time here.
No, we tried to do this year, but we couldn't watch anything from anywhere. Yeah.
Decided to just like come out tonight because the weather was pretty like bad earlier in the day, but thankfully it got better. So
it was a random trip too. We were like, "Do you want to go on Wednesday?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's go."
Very random, like best friend trip.
When the tree comes down, it will be donated to Habitat for Humanity to be used to build homes. But until then, the Rockefeller tree can be visited all throughout the holiday season.
From Rockefeller Center, I'm Sydney Riddle. Happy holidays, everybody.
Wow, that looked absolutely wonderful. I wish that I could get into the city to see that. But just in case you can't make the 2-hour trip in, Huntington Village is known for being a mini New York, and it continues this tradition regarding Christmas tree lightings. The 12th annual holiday parade and Wall Street tree lighting in Huntington has returned. One of the motifs is the Holiday Express, and activities include the Long Island's largest electric parade, which concluded with Santa's appearance at the Wall Street annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony. The Big H Shopping Center on New York Avenue served as the starting point for Huntington's 12th annual Huntington Express Holiday Parade, which attracted between 5,000 and 10,000 spectators to downtown Huntington Village. The parade traveled north to Main Street before turning west on Main Street to reach West Neck Road. The celebration featured contests for the finest floats in a number of categories, with the entries being judged on how well they appeared to the parade's Holiday Express concept, because the winners district got to pick the Santa Claus for the procession in 2023. The close friendship among fire departments was especially tough. Participation was also welcomed from businesses and groups.
There are 3 new Hallmark movies we want to put the spotlight on. First, it's Haul Out. This rom-com stars Lacey Chabert as Emily, returning to her childhood home after a messy but long-needed breakup. Left alone at her house with her parents, Emily gets dragged into a house decorating and holiday competition put on by their homeowners association, as well as childhood friend Jared, played by Wes Brown.
Next, we have a holiday spectacular featuring Radio City Rockettes. This story, set in the late 1950s, follows Maggie, played by Broadway veteran Gina Claire Mason, as she sneaks out of her high society living and wedding to go to New York City and follow her dream to become a Rockette, as her dreams starts to come true and a love for New York City begins to take shape. Maggie is torn between her former life and the one she is making for herself. Now another Broadway veteran, Derek Kalino's co-stars.
Last on the Hallmark list is the one that's coming is The Holiday Sitter. Jonathan Bennett plays Sam on his way to Hawaii for the holidays, but plans take an unexpected turn when he needs to babysit his niece and nephew, and Sam has no idea how to handle his unexpected visitors. Fortunately for Sam, his neighbor Jason, played by George Crissa, is a dynamo with kids. Jason starts to fall for Sam as he sees him interact with his niece and nephew. Are sparks flying between the first leading LGBTQ couple in a Hallmark movie? Find out for yourself on December 11th.
Under 4 miles away from where we sit now is something absolutely magical, as well as some of our favorite merrymakers, Justin Mitselmakher and Ashley Nuñez, have all the details in Stony Brook Village.
Welcome to Port Jefferson. We are at the 26th annual Charles Dickens Festival. Right now, we're surrounded in what feels like a snow globe. Would you say, Ashley?
It definitely does feel like a snow globe. I feel like I'm in a Christmas movie.
We really are. We're at the center of festivities here at Port Jefferson, at the Port Jefferson Village Center. So we're on the second floor, and there are a bunch of themed Christmas trees around us, a workshop as well. Ashley, what kind of themes do you see around us?
I see a Nightmare Before Christmas tree, and most importantly, I see a Stony Brook medicine tree to the left of me.
So the Port Jefferson Charles Dickens Festival is an annual festival that takes over for the weekend. And it's going to be filled with ice skating, we're going to have some carolers, and it's going to be an all-around, family-friendly, exciting, and heartwarming event that takes you back in time to the Victorian era of England when Charles Dickens was writing his original novels. Now, but before we get to the festivities and a few characters and friends that we have here on set, we're going to go explore Port Jefferson on our own a little bit. Take a look.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
50 miles from Manhattan, Port Jefferson Village has transformed into a winter wonderland.
And just a short 10-minute drive from SBU, it's the perfect place for students to come and get into the holiday spirit. Let's see what festivities are in store. Ashley, what's first on the agenda?
I'm a little cold, so I think maybe a hot drink. Thoughts?
That sounds perfect. Let's go get it.
We've made it here to Kilwin's, a Port Jefferson staple. We're gonna get some hot chocolate, maybe a snack.
Kilwin's has been Port Jefferson's go-to for all things chocolate, fudge. We have some ornaments, we have giant chocolate Santa Clauses, and it's the perfect place to grab a sweet treat to beat the cold. Cheers. With hot chocolates in hand, it was time to do some window shopping.
To cap off this holiday excursion, let's go eat at the most festive place in town.
After a chilly night, cheers to this hearty meal. I'm Justin Mitselmakher.
And I'm Ashley Nuñez.
Happy holidays,
everyone.
We're joined now with Paul Bralle, who is the Arts Council Board of Directors here at Port Jefferson Village, and a few of our elves from the North Pole who just came in off of Santa's sleigh. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
How was the trip? Not too long?
A little cold, but it was great.
Oh, wonderful. We're so happy to have you here. But Paul, we see that you are in charge of the first ever Yuletide tree works. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. We were tasked to develop an idea for a new workshop. The building that housed the workshop in the past is no longer available as it became a museum. So back in June, I pitched an idea to stage the workshop here in the Village Center, but I wanted to embrace the area. I wanted to embrace the environment, the Festival of Trees. So rather than a Santa workshop, I designed it as a 19th century storefront workshop where elves are actually producing the trees that are on display. So inside that workshop, we have workstations, and we actually have live elves right here that will be here from 12 to 4 on Saturday and Sunday for the festival. We have Santa Claus who will sit right here, same hours, and the elves will make the trees, and they're going to paint ornaments, and we also have cookies.
Wonderful.
That sounds amazing. I really love elves, so I'm kind of excited that everyone is here. And I'm really looking forward to taking a look at your Yuletide workshop app.
It came out beautiful. The reviews are tremendous. Of course, I never think it's complete, but I'm told that we did a pretty good job. I had some great help. The basic design, the infrastructure was there, but I had some great help to make it look like perfection.
Yeah, and it looks like we're basically back at home where you guys came from, which is the North Pole Santa's Workshop. We have a sleigh over there. We have a table. Elves, tell me, give me a little inside scoop. What is your favorite toy to make? And what have been the toys that you've been making the most going into Christmas this year?
The Nutcracker was definitely fun to make.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
Nutcracker.
Many nutcrackers. I mean, we gotta make a lot of like video game consoles. You've heard the PlayStation 5's pretty backed up, so we got a lot of those on our hands.
Right.
The toy car was actually quite popular this year too.
Yeah.
The toy car. Nice to see that kids are embracing those traditional toys as well as the new technological stuff, right? That's going on. So many new inventions each and every year for the holidays. So thank you for that little inside scoop. How do you guys like Long Island and Port Jefferson?
It is beautiful here. I mean, you did an absolutely fantastic job. It looks exactly like home.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the weather's a tad different.
Well, thank you, Elle, so much, and thank you, Paul, for speaking with us about your creation. Moving forward, we're going to go to a little break, and then up next, we have the mayor, Margot. She's going to speak with us, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Her mother, Jean, actually was involved in starting the first ever, 26 years ago, the first ever Charles Dickens Festival. Charles Dickens, the Victorian era, it was all about tradition. And I feel that this festival also is rooted in tradition. So tell us, what is your favorite tradition 26 years later?
Oh, that's a tough question because there's so much that happens during the Charles Dickens Festival. This year we have over 172 events, and we've expanded the festival year to year. But for me, the favorite thing is seeing everybody come together as we planned 26 years ago, rain or shine, we gather as a community to honor the spirit of Charles Dickens and the true time of giving for those who are less fortunate than us. So let's remember that and give. And that's the best thing my heart feels every year when I do Charles Dickens.
That's wonderful. It's actually Justin and I's first Dickens Festival, so we're very excited, and just hearing what you have to say about it, we're really looking forward to going out and exploring and taking in the spirit of giving.
So tell us, what is your favorite tale from Mr. Dickens himself?
Oh, it's definitely the Christmas Carol. I mean, to see, sometimes I feel like Scrooge myself, and then you know how your heart just
The
grows.
stress of the season.
Your heart just grows and grows and grows, and that's the most important thing about this time of year and this festival. You're starting to feel the magic. You can see with the elves and the trees and Santa's workshop. Heather's been doing this for 16 years. I mean, they start young, and my friend here has been doing this for 16 years too as a chimney sweep, and they stay and they come, and I think that's the most important thing. Our friends from Connecticut are here, or across the pond.
So it really is a true community event. So tell us, you guys over here, right all around us, you're all different characters and all different people that embody the Victorian era. I heard that you're a chimney sweeper. Who are you? Tell us about yourself, sir.
Yes, we're from Connecticut. So I come with 6 of us here. We've been coming 14 years. And we were just inspired when the mayor's mother started this. And that's really what got us. We came one year. Great. First year we came, we were not in garb. and we met these young little girls that walked into the restaurant. We couldn't get them to break character. We asked them questions, what school do you go to, after they finished their song, and they would not break character. They must have been 10 years old tops. And we got hooked ever since.
Speaking of character, though, who can give me their best Charles Dickens accent? Let's hear it. Any takers?
Well, it depends, of course, on what you'll try to do, my friend. If you want me to say something more eloquent, or we can begin a song, it really depends.
I'm really trying to master the accent as we head towards the festival, but maybe you can give me a few tips afterwards.
Yes, well, of course, you have to say the vowels in a certain way, but and drop the R's. Drop the
Wonderful. Wonderful tip. Thank you. And now to wrap it up, Ashley.
We're going to have them sing a wonderful song for us. It's my personal favorite. So do we want to get into Jingle Bells?
Let's get a little Jingle Bells going. 3, 2, 1.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hurrah! Thank you so much. Round of applause to you all. Happy Dickens. Back to the studio.
I have to be honest, I'm still daydreaming a little bit about the Rockefeller tree. I would love to go ice skating there. You know, we actually have a ice rink right in Hop Hog. Our own Lauren Canavan got the opportunity to go there and see our Stony Brook ice crew in action. Let's take a look.
Hi guys, we're here at the rinks at Hop Hog to watch Stony Brook play Jamestown, but we're also here to learn a little bit more about the Stony Brook ice crew team, whose mission is to make in-between periods a little bit more fun. As the Seawolves fight for the puck, Stony Brook's ice crew works to enhance the fan experience. Team members sell raffle tickets, merchandise, and set up games for fans to enjoy in between periods. Not everyone on the ice crew has skating experience. Only about half of the team runs on-ice activities such as puck cleanup. Amanda Nuzzo, a non-skater, shared why she joined the team.
I would say the benefits of joining Ice Crew are it's a really good community. Everyone's super nice to be around, so it's a great way to make friends. And if you're interested in hockey, it's a great way to kind of find people with those similar interests as you and connect with people on campus.
The fan favorite game is Chuck-a-Puck, where fans aim for a target and throw foam pucks onto the ice from the stands. SBU's Ice Crew always brings joy to the rink, not just around the holidays, but all throughout the hockey season. From the rinks at Hop Hog, I'm Lauren Canavan. Back to you in the studio.
We can usually associate Thanksgiving with football, but this holiday season, all eyes are on a different type of football. Andrew Candio has all the excitement, controversy, and action. Andrew?
The 2022 World Cup has been eventful with shocking results with every match. Out of all the countries so far, only 3 have been eliminated: Ecuador, Canada, and the hosting country, Qatar. In stunning fashion, the U.S. team made it out the round of 16 after defeating Iran 1-0. It all began in 1930 with just 13 teams. Since its original creation, the World Cup has truly evolved, now having 32 teams with 64 matches played. This tournament has been held in amazing notable places, from France and Italy to the first ever World Cup being played in Uruguay. But with the 21st FIFA World Cup, there seems to be a lot of controversy and backlash surrounding the decision to play in Qatar.
I think, firstly, the way that they received the bid for the 2022 World Cup was, again, corrupt. Secondly, it's in the winter, so I think it also loses a little lore. Growing up, the World Cup was always in summer for me. It was a part of the summer, it was part of summer vacation. Now having to also balance schoolwork and being able to watch my country play. First of all, you know that the FIFA itself had a litany of allegations against them in 2014, 2018, 2016, 2017, with Sepp Blatter being the former president. So, honestly, there's nothing they could have really done. Currently, with what's happening with the protests and them trying to change, I guess, the view and the mentality of the nation as little, a country that clearly is based our government based off of their religious beliefs. It's quite hard for us to go in and try to impose what we consider to be our freedoms on them and try to change their cultural viewpoints.
Yeah, again, I think,
when you look at the World Cup and you look historically, it's always played in different regions and different parts of the world, and every country has their laws and their rules, and that's something that the different federations have to deal with, and obviously FIFA has to take into account when they decide on who's going to host the World Cup. So as far as the beer in the stadium and some of those things, again, I take the perspective of watching the sport, right, and watching the games on the field, and the impact that the game has on bringing kids into watching the sport, right, and building a love for the game, and speaking about different countries, right. I take my kids, for example. Every time we watch a game, we get an opportunity to learn about the flag, learn about the teams that are on the field, where they're from, the regions that they're from, right? You see dressed differently, right? How they support their team, some of the musical instruments, right? And we learn that, people are different, right? And people have different views and different beliefs, right? So, it's not so much me trying to impose, my views and my beliefs on it, but having an understanding of, what the different cultures believe and represent, and I think that's one of the positive things, with the World Cup.
I couldn't be more excited to see these games. I mean, yesterday was community. What's happening to the women? What's happening to the migrant worker who built the stadiums? The English team and others wanted to wear an armband that said "One Love," and that was stricken. They couldn't wear it, and the excuse was used that it's not a part of the official uniform. And there's many, many other cases where you can say how much money was spent to put together these stadiums, billions and billions of dollars on the backs of migrant workers and people who possibly weren't paid fairly or housed family. And why did that happen? That's really the question. How did FIFA allow that to happen? And what hand does FIFA have in this? How did this country get the World Cup to begin with? Maybe it's positive that this country is trying to create a new brand for itself. But my question is, with everything that's been done, is this country being looked at in a positive way or not, after everything that's been exposed?
Can't wait to see the results of the FIFA World Cup. I'm Andrew Candio. Let's kick it back to Skyler and Kat.
The soccer world has certainly been all over the news recently. In a historic decision, the U.S. men's team will be splitting their $13 million earnings from the World Cup with the women's team. This is a monumental step towards pay equity, especially within the world of female athletes. Yesterday was World AIDS Day. According to HIV.org, the 2022 theme is Putting Ourselves to the Test, Achieving Equity to End HIV. This event was first observed in 1988 and is designed to be a day to unite to help end HIV and remember those lost in AIDS-related illnesses.
This Wednesday is December 7th and Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Pearl Harbor survivors, veterans, and visitors from all over the world come together to remember service members and civilians who were killed during the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. We want to take this moment to thank anyone impacted by Pearl Harbor and for their service and sacrifice.
A program you may not have known existed on our campus is the International Friends and Family Program. It is organized by the Office of Global Affairs and it connects international students with members of the local community, referred to as hosts. It is a year-long connection where the hosts keep in contact with their students about how they are doing with their work and helps them adjust to a new community. We had the wonderful opportunity to interview Alfreda James, who is a host, about being a part of this program and how she makes sure their students are taken care of during the holidays.
I see myself as a global citizen, and I also grew up with the sense of giving people the right hand of fellowship, welcoming them to come to my community. And when you're coming from another country, especially if there's a language barrier, it can be really disorienting. And remember, this is a university. And really, as a part of the university's role in the broader community, there has to be this bridge, not just the academic thing, but also the person-to-person relationships. I mean, we're human beings after all. The program takes individuals like me and pairs them with 2 to 3 international students for a year. The host family, in this case me and my husband, we might take our students grocery shopping, or we might take them out into Port Jeff Village for an event, or in my case, I will come to campus and have one-on-one meetings with my students just to understand how they're doing, what problems they're facing, to help. I'm like the big sister. Yes, I'm the big sister. So if you see yourself as a global citizen, and I do, then being involved in the host family program is perfect, where you are helping another person adjust to the United States. Well, my students observe Diwali, and that is a Hindu observance. And so for Diwali, I conferred with another of my friends who happens to also be Hindu, and I bought them trinkets for the holiday. And that was a very nice surprise that an American would recognize their holiday appropriately. So, yeah, so again, it's about, that fellowship, helping someone get through a major adjustment. I wish more local families or more local individuals would get involved, because international students play a vital role in American culture. And when you think about the multicultural history of our country, it only makes sense to welcome the latest group of internationals, even if it's just for a year. The other thing that I would like people to know is this. We see students come to Stony Brook, and we always have the perspective that the student is here to receive our education, and that's true. But if you put yourself in, if you're a host family, you also receive something. You receive a broader view of the world, and also what American education means to other people. And so that's another reason to be a host family.
Thank you, Alfreda, for your generosity. This is what it means to have the holiday season spirit. It has been our absolute pleasure to bring you the Stony Brook Media Group's 2022 Holiday Spectacular. I'm Skyler Day Harman.
And I'm Katherine Procacci. Have a wonderful holiday season.